matter where I go. No matter where I be. Be rocking it like that, man. I love the fit of this shirt, bro.
Bro, look, I just happened to get out the elevator. Look at it, look at it. BMT shirt on. You know, we representing all over in Thailand, man. Let's get that out there early.
What's up, y'all? It's the Travel OG, and I got to do my BMT commercial, man, for my BMT shirt, man. This shirt is so dope, man. It shows off your guns, fits your muscles, gives you room at the bottom for the belly, and then you repping the BMT brand, man. So make sure y'all pick up that BMT shirt because it's fire. It looks good. He got them in different colors, and I'm telling y'all, man, the fit, it ain't that cheap. It's a real quality shirt, man. I love it, BMT. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for blessing me with the shirt. And I'll see you on the other side. You dig?
All right. And we are live. Welcome, family, to another show. Want to welcome out everybody in the room. We got a pretty good show for you guys today, man. A lot been going on in the Passport Bros movement or community, whatever you guys want to call it. But we're going to discuss some things today, man. We're going to talk about it. We're going to chop it up for a little minute. Right now, it's currently early morning here in Thailand. I know it's pretty much the evening if you guys are on the East Coast. So we're definitely going to tap in and talk about a few things that's going on today with the movement. All right. I want to give a shout out to Delanoy Music. He's the first one in the building. Shout out to you, Delanoy. What up? What up? We got Prize in the building. He says, I'm coming to Thailand to hoop. Y'all can catch these buckets. Salute BMT and the Passport Bros. For sure, man. Come through. Slide through, bro. We here. We are here. Shout out to my dude Amari in the building with the $5 super chat starting off. He said, salute BMT. Question, how much yacht rentals in Pattaya and where can I find them? Is there a site? Do me a favor, bro. Reach out to me on my email. I'll put it in the chat for you. blackmantravels@gmail. And I can pass over the contact because I actually don't know the prices offhand. But I do know somebody that's familiar with that. So just do me a favor. I posted it right here. Just shoot me an email when you get a chance. Once again, appreciate that $5 super chat, my man. Appreciate that. All right. We got Janky Joey 84 in the building. What's good? What's good? Yeah, we in here, man. We are in here. So I guess as most of you guys already know, the Passport Bros, the movement, to say at least, it's been growing. All right. It's been growing right now. If you take a look at our group, what to do? Take a look at our group right here, man. We got about 500 people, waiting to get in the group. So the group is growing, despite some of the, BS backlash and the so-called controversy. This is growing. This is growing. And I wanted to kind of have a discussion today because, a friend of mine called me and he asked me, he said, hey, man, how are you dealing with all this, this backlash, and all this controversy surrounding on something that, you started. Now, I will say this. I wasn't the one that started this movement. All right. I did create the Facebook group, Passport Bros and whatnot, but I got to give it to the founders of who I found out or discovered, guys, who would be considered to be Passport Bro founders now. I want to say rest in power to, Charles Tyler, all the guys over there at, the Black Man's Option, Al Grease, the president, Eric Spencer. These are the guys. These are my guys that, I was looking at, back in 2000, maybe 13, 14, when I was looking for an actual solution to some of the issues that we face in the Western world, basically. And I was rolling around. I was looking at different videos. This is like the beginning of, the Black Manosphere, and it was growing. It was big, and people were going live, having panels. A lot of information was being discussed. And at first it was good hearing out that a lot of men, specifically brothers, were going through the same things. All right, as far as the dating in America, the frustrating with dating in America, dating in the West, issues with racism and violence and harmful policies towards the American family, all the stuff we was talking about and discussing, and it was very good to see. Okay, it's just not me. I see that other brothers are identifying with these issues that we having within our community, and we went back and forth talking about them. And I listened to Charles Tyler, rest in power once again to Charles Tyler, and I was looking at what he was doing with the group, the Black Man's Option. I was looking at what he was doing in YouTube channel, and I'm just giving you guys kind of like where I started at with this passport bro movement thing. Just give you guys a rundown before you really get into the gist of the show. And I was looking at him, I was listening to him, and I said to myself, I said, man, is this real? Like, is guys really going down to Brazil like that and living it up, living life? And I thought Brazil and South America was dangerous. I'm hearing all this stuff on the news, and I started, asking questions to other guys. I'm like, man, you heard about Brazil? And they're like, yeah, Brazil's rough. And I'm like, all right, all right. So I took it upon myself. I said, you know what, man? It can't be too bad because I'm looking at this Facebook group, the Black Man's Option, and I'm actually seeing brothers enjoying life, showing photos, actually showing the receipts, showing their lifestyle, showing the women, showing that they safe. And what really drew me to it more than anything uh, was not the women, believe it or not. It was the brotherhood that I saw that was forming. I said, damn, you got dudes of all ages getting along, partying and exchanging knowledge. And I start seeing guys opening up businesses, and I started seeing guys actually move, and I started listening to different expats. So I said to myself, I said, man, right around 2017, I said, let me go out there to Brazil and holler at Charles Tyler. Let me see what's up. Let me pay for a consultation with all that, and let me really see what's up. Let me see what these guys be talking about. Let me see if it's real, right? So I booked my trip. I was super nervous. I was like, damn, I actually, I'm actually going to Brazil. I had no idea that they spoke a different language. I don't know why. I just assumed they spoke Spanish or something, which I knew a little Spanish, but they speak Portuguese. And I was like, damn, and I'm finding all this information out, more and more as the trip is coming up. So almost at the end, I went to my barber. And he was like, hey, man, don't go. Don't go. It's dangerous. They're going to kidnap you. They kidnap Americans. They hold them for ransom. And I'm like, I need to go ahead and cancel this trip. But I said, well, wait a minute. I'm actually seeing these guys in this Facebook group. They not having any issues. And I'm kind of going to some people. It's not like I'm going out there by myself. I already know people that's down there. And that was the value of the group, because YouTube has a somewhat of a detachment, right? Like you might see a video, or you might email a guy, he might email you back, a certain YouTuber or whatever. But in Facebook, it's actually, you're more connected with a group. It's more of a community with group, right? With the Facebook page. So I shoot on down there. I link up with one of the BMO guys out there. And then I end up meeting Charles Tyler. And, it was a little bit of a culture shock. I'm not going to lie. But towards, I say because I was down there for about 3 weeks. And I would say after that first couple of days of the, initial, culture shock and seeing, I was like, okay, this is different. Like, first off, I'm like, man, it's a lot of Black people out here. You know what I'm saying? That was my first thing. I was like, damn. Then I realized, I said, okay. Oh, it has a bigger population out here in Brazil, more so than even in North America. So I said, okay, that's cool. I can rock with this. And I'm moving around, and the BMO guys are taking me different places. I meet Charles Tyler. We have a great, long, in-depth conversation on the beach. He wasn't feeling well at the time, but we still, I still got to connect with the brother. I took a photo of him, on the beach and everything. And we just talked about life in general and how men actually deserve to be happy, and how important choosing the right woman is to a man's legacy. All right. And we just talked about a few different things. I'm not gonna go all over because it was a long talk. And when I left Brazil, I was just, first of all, didn't want to come back already. That's number one. I was on the plane like, man, I gotta figure this out. I got to figure this out, man. This is I like this lifestyle. I like, I enjoyed it. So I get back, and initially I started a blog, right? I started a blog, and I wrote about my first initial trip, overseas. I had been to Jamaica, but I really don't count that. So I wrote the blog, and the blog ended up turning into the Facebook group, the first initial Facebook group before it was taken down. And then once that group was taken down, me and Cardell was going, we was having a conversation, a little bit of a back and forth. He was like, man, you can't name it the same name. You got to name it something different. So I said to myself, you know what? Let's name it Passport Bros. It's just as simple as that. That's all it was. All right. It was like, it wasn't no organization or anything like that. It wasn't no, malice intent of, yeah, we're going to get together and we're going to, colonize the world and we hate women. And it was nothing like that. It was simply like, hey, man, let's, so they took the first group down. A lot of people might be weary of guys traveling the world, especially black men. So I said, okay, let's just name it Passport Bros. And that name was already being kicked around on the internet, within the black manosphere. The name was being kicked around. The first person I actually heard say it was BGS Ibmore. So shout out to him. And it was just being kicked around a little bit. So I decided to name the Facebook group after it. So we got the Facebook group. The Facebook group is growing, and then after the Facebook group, I think the Facebook group with the name help push it out there a little bit more, because the name, it sounds cool. It sounds interesting to a lot of guys. What Passport Bros? You can identify it right away. Oh, okay, these are guys that are traveling. So at that time, there was no like no ideology really behind it like that. It was just a community of guys that like to travel and would exchange information. All right. Like I said, it was no true like ulterior motive or malice intent behind it, like people are saying today. And now, fast forward less than maybe a year later, I think it'll be like a year in April. Now we're growing massively. We got 300-400 people trying to get in the group. We're adding different moderators and admins to kind of monitor the group. Excuse me. And as you can see, it's just a ton of, as we're growing, it's like a ton of, I would say, not necessarily backlash, not even controversy, because right now it's a lot of generalization going on. If anybody, that's the problem with having like a tag and a lot of people identifying with that tag. You get the versus thing going on, right? So you get the Passport Bros versus these guys, the PUA coaches, Passport Bros versus divestors, Passport Bros versus the OnlyFans Bros. You get all these verses, and that's how it started out. Shout out to my dude O'Shea Dude Jackson. He started using the Passport Bros moniker, and I think along with Austin, going viral on TikTok, it just blew up, right? And this has been going on for some time now. Like initially, guys were traveling. I started traveling really back in 2003, but I really started traveling heavy in 2017, right? So guys have been traveling the world. You've been having these Facebook groups and communities and travel YouTubers. So it's been going on. But like I said, now it's getting out there, and with it getting out there, some people won't be comfortable with it, right? It's something that's being introduced to really the black community, because the other communities, they've been on the travel game. They've been knowing what's going on with the travel community, right? But now, like this is like, in their eyes, you will have certain people, male and female, actually, that would feel uncomfortable because they feel like, hey, you might be abandoning, us or something like that. You got guys who want to, either they can't afford to travel too scared to travel, whatever the reason is. They just going to have issue. A lot of brothers might be jealous of guys putting themselves in a position to be able to live overseas long term or to be able to travel frequently. So you definitely got that. I think that's where mainly some of this backlash is coming from. But then you got the women. All right. Then you got the women, most definitely. And with the women, I decided a long time ago, family, to not go into like this back and forth engagement because I never wanted to cross the passport bros up into the red pill gender war, really. And I think that's what happened. I think content creators, the going back and forth, the TikToks, all the women. It's like it's just everybody's missing the point of what I initially wanted to communicate with people, which is living overseas long term, cheaper healthcare, better quality of living, learning different cultures, being well rounded, being an international person, a man of leisure. Like I wanted to be, put a different message out there. And now I'm seeing that the waters have been completely muddied up because now it's just like it's going back and forth now. Like, women hate passport bros, and you got some women that support the passport bros, and you got a lot of dudes hating on the passport bros. If one person commits a heinous crime that has nothing to do with, the passport bros, they'll put it on it. Like, okay, passport bro does this, and like I said before, you got millions of men that travel the world, right? Before, during, and after this, so they're trying to detach. You got certain content creators who want to drive a certain narrative, who really have an issue with, men traveling for whatever their myriad of issues are. And they try to paint a certain narrative to their audience, generalization, basically, generalizing, okay, this is what all these guys are doing, which is just not true. And it's very dangerous. That's why behind the scenes we've been working on, pushing out defamational lawsuits because, you can't just lie on people and slander people for views and content. And in my opinion, this is going to be the next big, movement. It's going to be defamation, basically. I think lawyers are going to eat this up because just because you're uncomfortable with something doesn't mean that you can just simply lie and slander people all online on YouTube for content. All right. Yeah, you're right. A lot of it is jealousy. A lot of it is jealousy, man. All right. Let me catch the super chat. We'll get right back to the show. We got 166 people in the room. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. All right. We got my dude, the real G. He says, I'm back in the A. See you soon. Salute the BMT. Shout out to you, brother. I hate I missed you. You was out here, man. But shout out to you. We got MOT in the building. What's good, MOT? Man of tomorrow in the building. Yes, that's right. I had to give it a little history, man, because a lot of people don't understand. Like this passport bro thing been going on for quite some time. You talk to some of the OGs in the space, and they've been traveling to Brazil, they've been traveling to Colombia and all over the world, to other countries. So it's been going on. But like I say, we're going through more so, in my opinion, growing pains. A lot of people were just like, "Oh, the movement is messed up now. It's over with. We on Fox News." And listen, this is what comes with growth, in my opinion. And some people are going to be uncomfortable seeing that particular growth. And I even understand to a certain degree. That's like I said before. To me personally, I never really was into trying to explain to people why I travel. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's like, damn you. I don't care what you think. I'm gonna do me regardless. And a lot of brothers feel that way. When you're an expat or you travel frequently, you don't have time to go back and forth and then really engage with people that have an issue with what you do with your life. I promise you don't. You're not even gonna be thinking about it for the most part. You got different issues. You got, learn a different language. You got trying to figure out, what's the good healthcare providers, what's the good neighborhoods to live in and walk in. We're gonna get to that in a second. Because we definitely got to cover that. about what happened to the brother out there in Chile. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Networking with different people. You just got your mind is totally consumed with different things, basically, that concern, your life in general, quality of life. So we don't really have, most guys overseas are not going to be engaging in back and forth trying to explain to people why you're traveling. Everybody travels for different reasons. All right. That 23-year-old, 24-year-old guy is going to be traveling totally different for totally different reasons than the 40-year-old guy, And the crazy part about it is passport bros. I think another thing that triggers a lot of people is the receipts that we show, right? If you just scroll through the group, because they was making this narrative that passport bros are going over, they don't want relationships, they don't want marriage, they just want to leverage the women with their American dollars and take advantage of them. That was the driving narrative for the whole divestment crew over there, right? But then you look in the group and you see men basically posting their wives, posting their foreign wives. And I'm telling you guys, like, it is what it is. It is what it is at this point. Men are getting married. And if y'all don't notice, these foreign women will lock up a good brother in a heartbeat. They will. And they don't have no ifs, ands, and buts about it. They don't care. They don't care what you say about them. They don't care what you think. I like to see the women, engaging other women. I think it's better because they communicate differently. When I see guys on panels going back and forth trying to explain, to women, why they do this and why they do that, to me, they're not understanding that, bro, that when you going back and forth trying to explain something, engaging, it's a waste of time because the communication is different. You're being logical to her, but she's being emotional to you. So it's a different type of language, This is why I just put this out there. This is why you see the formula of let's just say a pimp, right? You're gonna always have that down woman or the lead woman, the madam or whatnot, to communicate with the other women. He doesn't necessarily directly communicate with all his other women. And I'm just using that as an example, as a form of communication. So when you guys are going back and forth thinking that, okay, I'm being logical with her, so she should understand, she understands, but she's uncomfortable or she doesn't like the feeling that you're giving her. All right. Just by sometimes you're just your masculine presence. So to me, it's just a waste of time. It's a waste of time. And you shouldn't have to explain to somebody why you choose to travel. All right. Shout out to my dude Jay Clyde in the building. On Trackman made a good point. He says to travel is to grow. We got 200 in the room. Y'all okay? Y'all come in today. That's what's up. Make sure when you come in the room, hit that like button. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I get it. It's content creation, and guys like to hear the opinions, and it's the back and forth. I get it, man. It's content. But to me, you appealing logically and giving a woman that, that you're not in a relationship, that she's not your wife, you're not even dating her. This is just a random woman on YouTube, and you trying to explain to her, you know what I'm saying, the reason you travel or why you travel, and trying to say, hey, this is not like this, and it's a waste of time because in their head they already, have you pigeonholed. This is the thing. This is the truth, man. I'm just gonna keep it real. And some women might have an issue with what I'm about to say, but this is just my opinion. Excuse me. I didn't mean to drink on that. When you're arguing with a woman and you don't know this woman at all, right? Like I said before, she's not a woman in your family. She's not, somebody you grew up with. She's not a friend. You're not dating her or anything like that. These women will engage with you. They'll argue with you. You're arguing with her, but she's arguing with all her past boyfriends. You see what I'm saying? Because you're giving her that feeling of hurt and pain just by your presence. She's really arguing with the men that's not going to give her any attention any longer, that's not engaging with her any longer, that she feel like she was used by or whatever the history is. That's why it's like, bro, you sitting there going back and forth and you're wondering why she's blowing up on you. She's not necessarily blowing up on you. She's blowing up from all those guys that maybe hurt her feelings back in the day. And that's just the truth. That's just the truth. All right. Shout out to QB Passport flashing with $99 in super chat. Somebody said Happy New Year, BMT. Happy New Year to you too, QB Passport. QB flexing. Happy New Year to you too, brother. All right, yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Let's go ahead and talk about that, man. Let's go ahead and talk about that. We're gonna go ahead, and this is a sad story. Shout out to No Reservations in the building. This was a pretty sad story. Let me adjust this real quick. Coming out of Chile, right here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up. All right. Now, I will say this, family. As more men start traveling the world, more brothers start traveling the world, you're gonna have incidents like this. You're gonna have incidents like this, and what's kind of because I've read this article and I looked into it. Looked into it a little bit more. I asked some questions about some guys I knew that was familiar with Chile, and they was telling me that the neighborhood that this young brother was in was drug infested. It was very dangerous. The area he put this Airbnb in, and he was shot. He took a picture of a building. He was walking in a neighborhood in Chile, pretty much a dangerous neighborhood, and he took a picture of a building. Just to give you guys a rundown of what happened to the brother, the lawyer. Rest in power to him. He took a picture of a building, and some guys ran up on him, robbed him, pretty much took his phone and shot him, and he ended up dying out there in the capital city of Santiago. So before we get into it, I just want to say rest in power, rest in peace to the brother Eric Garvin. Very successful young brother. Had his whole life ahead of him. He traveled to over 40 countries, so he was passionate about travel. And he did go to Chile. He did have a friend with him, but on that particular day, his friend wasn't with him. And, a lot of people will say, hey, man, he shouldn't have been in a bad neighborhood. And listen, I made a very similar mistake when I moved to Colombia. And I went downtown. I told this story, countless times before. I went downtown and, got into it with some Venezuelans because they said I was taking pictures and recording, which I wasn't. So things like this can easily happen, guys. It's unfortunate. It's not the first time it's happened. It's definitely not going to be the last time it's happened. Guys, do your proper research. And I'm not saying he didn't do his research, but these Airbnbs, they're not going to tell you that, hey, this is a rough neighborhood, and some of the other tours, you look at the comment section or look at the reviews, they don't know that they're in a rough neighborhood, especially in South America. You just got to be really aware of where you're taking video at, taking pictures at, where you're walking at. A lot of times we dress differently than the locals, so we stick out like a sore thumb and people look at us. And I know when I was in Cambodia, I was getting stared at, left and right, everybody was staring, everything. A lot of times we're a little bit bigger than the guys in some cases. And it's a communication barrier as well. So they might be assuming that, you speak the language, and they might be giving you demands of, taking stuff out your pocket. They might get frustrated and they might just shoot you out of feeling like you disrespecting them, even though that, you're trying to understand them. It's a panic. All this, happens in less than 10, 15 seconds half the time. They trying to, they adrenaline rushing, you're adrenaline rushing. They want to just get your stuff and take it more than 9 times out of 10. But you just never know what type of time people are on. You got people doing gang initiations. You know, it's a lot of stuff going on, not only in South America, but just around the world in general. And you have to be aware. Now, I introduce or tell people that when I first went to Brazil, I paid for a consultation, right? And I know this is like when people say consultations, especially with the brothers, this is like consultation. What do you need a consultation for? You know, this right here could have been avoided. This could have been avoided. All right. Not saying that he had to have a consultation, but linking with an expat already in Chile or somebody that's familiar with Chile, that doesn't mind sharing his knowledge if you just pay him, whatever. And I'm not just saying this because I do consultations. I'm just telling you guys that information is extremely important when traveling overseas. It's really important, and it can save your life, put it to you that way. The right consultation, all right, with the proper information, have your questions lined up and say, hey, man, I see an Airbnb. It looks really nice. It's in this area. What do you think about this area right here? I had a consultation in the Dominican Republic for an area in San Domingo. A guy was asking me, and I have fixers all over Dominican Republic, Thailand, Colombia, Brazil. If you don't know what a fixer is basically, the person that is well connected, a local, basically, or speaks the language fluently, have all types of connections with lawyers, police, doctors, a fixer, right? So when the guy asked me what about this specific area in Santo Domingo, I spoke with my fixer, and they was like, no, he does not want to move there. They will break in the house, they will rob him. It's very dangerous over here. Don't let him move there. I said, okay. And I communicated that back with him, and he's not going to move to that area because he didn't know. He didn't know. And you guys got to be mindful. You got to get the proper information. I'm not saying this about this brother, Eric, Garvin, who lost his life. I think it was just a bad incident. It might have just been a random act that can happen anywhere. I'm just saying in general, guys, you know what I'm saying? Just be careful, be mindful and just get the proper information because it could possibly save your life or save you from incidents. Okay. The brother that lost his life in Barranquilla, Timothy Reed, rest in power to him as well. Information started to come out more and more, and both of these cases are unsolved right now, but information came out more and more, in the particular building that he was in, the area that he was in, and, the people that he was dealing with, might not have been the best situation for him. And that possibly could have been avoided. A lot of times, guys, you'll see certain deals, and you're wondering like, oh man, I get a 3-bedroom for $300 a month, or for $20 a day. Oh, I'm going to get that, got a pool. Boom, I'm going to get that, not knowing that it's in a very bad neighborhood. All right. Give me a second, family. Adjust that. All right, so let me get some of the comment sections. And okay, this is things say, okay, why do you pay for consultations, bro? Because people can't eat homeboy sandwiches, my brother. That's why. All right. I know you think it tastes good, but a homeboy sandwich, is not nutritional. And people, we got to get into the habit of paying people for their time. All right. And the crazy part about the consultation game, and I don't want to get too off the subject, but I mentioned this because successful people know the value of consultations, right? There's always the other guys who like maybe stuck in that circle somewhere and trying to figure it out themselves when you can connect. In the business world, you pay, period. In the business world, family, you will pay. Millionaires, successful people do not just sit down for you for the homeboy sandwich or the 30-cent Coca-Cola, as I call it, or the DAP. Yes, you have to pay for information sometimes. All right. People have their lives, they be busy, it is what it is. What does it benefit that person to sit down for you for a whole entire hour and he give you all the information that it took him 5-10 years to compile? He gives you his whole entire network for the homeboy DAP or the homeboy sandwich. sir, that's just not the way of the world. And that, generally speaking, that's definitely not the way men move. That's definitely not the way successful men move. Now, you don't have to get a consultation. You don't have to. And I'm not marketing my consultations. I'm just saying in general. You got expats. You got Andre from Love Crossing Boys that does consultations. You got Richie Mack that does consultation. These guys are setting you up for success for when you come, right? Instead of you trying to do all the groundwork yourself, because in most cases, most guys are traveling to these countries 1 week, 2 weeks at a time. And when you get to these countries, you just want to have fun, right? It's like most guys want plug and play. Touchdown, boom, you travel, you here, have some fun, go to a few parties, and you I see guys try to, network. Hey man, what I need to do is start a business over here. Or hey man, I'm like, bro, you're gonna have to pay somebody that has a business over here for a consultation. That's just the way of the world, And this is why guys do charge a lot of money, but to filter out the guys that, because most guys charge $200 for a consultation for like an hour, right? Because you're filtering out some of the guys that don't understand the value of information off the rip. So if you put it too low, then you'll get guys that don't understand, to have the questions ready, and have everything together so you can answer them, right? So that's how that goes, man. But once again, you don't have to pay. Information is not free, bro. It is what it is. All right. Somebody says, I hate we charge for information that could save each other lives. No, what it is now, I have plenty of safety videos, right? I talk about safety all the time. And this is the thing. See, most people don't even know exactly what a consultation is. They're not really familiar with a consultation, right? Once again, like I say, when I do a consultation, I give guys access to say, hey, man, this is a private doctor. You definitely want to, if you decide to move to Brazil, all right, and in South America, it's a lot of public health care. And with you being American, you don't want to be caught up and something happens. You go to the hospital, and you're sitting there because they have a whole different entire process than you do in the States, right? It's a different process. So you're going to be sitting there with your broke arm for 2-3 days, you know what I'm saying? Because you didn't know, okay, this guy's a private doctor. It doesn't cost as much for, doctors to come to your home and take care of you like it is in America, right? So it's just different types of things. Lawyers, it's different things. But I understand. This is something, once again, that's kind of new to a lot of brothers. And a lot of brothers want stuff for free. I'm not going to say where they get that from, but a lot of guys want things for free. Hey, man, I know I'm taking an hour out of your day, but, we cool, right? No, bro. Pay for information like everybody else pay for information. All right, shout out to D South Crown 35. Appreciate he's also a member. He says, bros, be safe no matter where you're chilling at. Yeah, man, be safe. Be safe. All right. Look, shout out to my dude, Dennis Jean Pierre. He's in the building. He's out there in Brazil. Guys, go check out his channel as well. Shout out to the music. Might have to start giving consultations for Spain and Brazil. Yeah, man. Yeah, give consultations. A lot of brothers do consultations. Somebody says Farris low-key created the Passport Bros slogan. I was there in the beginning, but I see YouTubers saying that they created Passport Bros slogan. Yeah, that kind of comes with it. Man. All right. Yeah, guys, do me a favor and hit that like button. So yeah, this was very unfortunate, man. I feel like it's a possibility that this could have been truly avoided, in my opinion. You really got to know exactly where you stand at. I know guys that like to travel and they have the whole no fear thing. I get it, bro, but it's definitely a different environment, and in a lot of cases, you being an American, they feel like you well off, you're rich, you're traveling. Uh, they might get at you, man. So just be careful. Just be careful. All right. I'm not gonna go back and forth with guys on the value of a consultation. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. I'm not tripping out. Some people feel like if you believe that you can Google stuff for an hour, then Google stuff for an hour, bro. I mean, it's an option. You don't have to do it. You do not have to get a consultation. Trust me. It is not that serious. Enjoy yourself. Like I said before, if you're moving to another country, I would say it'll be in your best interest to get a consultation. I would say that. Yeah, it's funny. Dennis Jean Pierre says he said some people will pay for their weekend for $50, but won't pay for consultation. Yeah, that's true. Like I say, it's something new. A lot of successful people, have mentors and take consultations. That's a whole game that a lot of people are just not really truly familiar with. So I get it. It's just like the passport bro movement. It's something that's being introduced. So that's fine. But people book consultations all the time, so it is what it is. Mm-hmm. That's very true. Cheap can be very dangerous. Cheap can be very dangerous. It really can be very dangerous, man. The best thing you can do, as far as safety, especially in our group, especially in the Passport Bros Facebook group, is, tag the area. Now, the only problem with Airbnb is they don't give you the exact specific area until you book, right? But the best thing you do is try to connect with somebody that's already out there. Like I said, you don't want to be a foreigner in a dangerous neighborhood anywhere in the world. You just don't want to do it. All right. Give me 1 second, family. I'll be right back. Let me get this little quick break. We're going to be right back. I'm going to catch some super chats.
No matter where I go, no matter where I be. We'll be rocking it like that, man. I love the fit of this shirt, bro.
Bro, look, I just have to get off the elevator. Look at it. The BMT shirt on. We representing all the way in Thailand, man.
What's up, y'all? It's the Travel OG, and I gotta do my BMT commercial, man, for my BMT shirt, man. This shirt is so dope, man. It shows off your guns, fits your muscles, gives you room at the bottom for the belly, and then you're repping the BMT brand, man. So make sure y'all pick up that BMT shirt, because it's fire. It looks good. He got them in different colors, and I'm telling y'all, man, the fit, it ain't that cheap. It's a real quality shirt, man. I love it, BMT. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for blessing me with the shirt. And I'll see you on the other side. You dig?
Fellas, don't forget to check out the Black Man Travels merch store where you can purchase BMT t-shirts, tank tops, travel quote tees, and much more. All right, we're back. Hold on. There we go. All right, we are back. 1 second, family. All right. So shout out to Highlander 2016 with $99 super chat. I really appreciate that. It says BMT. When are you going to Chile? I didn't have any plans on going to Chile, man. I really didn't have any plans on going. I will be traveling throughout South America this year, though. All right. Shout out to my dude. I see you, Backpack Val. I see you, bro. Shout out to you, bro. We got to do another show real soon, brother. Backpack Val said, Passport Bros, I'm out. I was like, I hit him up. I said, man, what's going on? So yeah, we're gonna do another show. But shout out to you, Backpack Val, man. Like I said before, man, every guy that traveled, it's not, necessarily a passport, bro. Like I said before, it's an ideology. It's a similar thought process of guys expanding their options overseas for a better lifestyle, better situation, and in some cases in search of a traditional woman to begin their family with and start a legacy with. So that's what a passport. That's my definition of a passport, bro. But people travel for different reasons. Like I said before, a lot of backlash, a lot of controversy. The situation in Brazil with Austin. A lot of that was a whole lie in itself. But I get it. It's a lot of heat on the passport bros right now. So I totally understand. All right, I totally understand. Shout out to Delno Music once again. Okay, Raymond Turner makes a good question, man. Let's ask some questions real quick. He says, I haven't been out the country before, but South America sounds dangerous. South America is dangerous, in my opinion, but so is North America. You have to move a certain way. It's beautiful. Brazil and Colombia has some of the most beautiful landscapes you ever see. Very tropical. In Brazil, you're near the equator. Great people, great culture. I love South America. In general, I love Brazil and I love Colombia. I'm a little bit more comfortable in Colombia because I know more Spanish than I do Portuguese, even though it's a very similar language. And I have a lot of friends in Colombia as well. A lot of locals, a lot of other expats. So I have more of a family community. We have it here in Thailand as well. It's growing more in Thailand, but definitely in Colombia. In Colombia, you just have to move a certain way. You definitely have to move a certain way. And you need to have knowledge of where you at in your surroundings and what time to be in certain areas and what time not to be in certain areas, right? And I've mentioned this incident before plenty of times. But when I first moved to Colombia, might have been like month because I still had my first apartment. So this might have been, excuse me, actually I was in my second apartment. This might have been like month number 3 or 4. This might have been month number 3 and 4. A friend of mine, I would say, we're friends now, but at the time, I had my YouTube channel and he watched the YouTube channel. It was his first time in Colombia. And he's like, yeah, man, you brought me out to Colombia. I want to meet you, want to link up with you. So we end up linking up, had a good time. He goes over here, I go over here. And then he calls me one day. He says, hey, man, I'm in Central right now. And I'm looking at it and I'm sitting here like, damn, I know my ex-girlfriend told me not to be in Central at night, really, And I know a lot of other guys who tell me, hey, man, when it gets a little dark, you can stay if you want, but keep in mind, the danger rate goes up. The danger meter goes up a lot at night. And some guys are comfortable with it. I know guys that hang out in Central. I do understand, but I know guys who won't be caught dead in Central at night, right? So I know this guy's new. And I'm like, well, bro, why are you down there? Oh, man, I just want to, just walk around and, see what's going on. I'm like, okay. And then he explains to me, he says, hey, man, I'm paying some guys. He said something like, I'm paying some guys to show me around or something to where he was basically getting extorted. So I said to myself, I said, damn, man, let me see what's going on. So I shoot down there. And, of course, I find him and everything. And I see the guys that supposedly supposed to be, walking him around for safety and everything. And I'm sitting here like, nah, bro. You gotta shake these guys, bro. Like these guys are robbing you in a friendly way because you're so green, you're so naive. They just gonna just, give me this, give me that. So I said, hey, bro, we good, y'all. I'm telling my man, let's go. In this process of me telling him, we're gonna go over here, we're gonna go back this way. Some random woman says I was recording. She's like, oh, he's recording. I literally had my phone like this, like still cover on everything. I was talking with it. And she was like, oh, he's recording, or he took a picture. That's what she was saying in Spanish. I'm like, fuck you talking about? So I just waved it off. We started heading, back the other way. So we go to like a little diner to get something to eat, and all of a sudden it's like 10, 20 Venezuelans, good guys with tattoos on their faces. And, they talking shit to me, right? They like, yo, give us the phone or give us money. And I'm sitting here like, I'm not giving you my phone. And I'm a little naive at this time too, keep in mind, so I'm sitting here like, what are you talking about? I wasn't recording, I'm like, she's like, yeah, he was the one recording. And I'm like, man, y'all can take that somewhere else. So luckily, it was an Afro-Colombian brother that came from behind the counter. He came from behind the counter, and he was explaining to them. He was just like, "Nah, this is a gringo. He don't know what's going on." He said he wasn't recording. He's not gonna give you the phone. And that was the saving grace. That was the saving grace. Because I'm pretty sure in that particular neighborhood, people knew him, and that's what saved it. It wasn't me. That it was the Afro-Colombian that came from behind the counter and was explaining to the street guys that, hey man, if he was recording, he doesn't work for the police or anything like that. He's not an agent. He said he wasn't. Maybe she made a mistake and whatever. Maybe she pointed out the wrong guy, whatever it was, and those guys end up backing out. So if it wasn't for him, that situation could have went way different. And the guy that was out there, I went to go get. I look around when these guys are surrounding me, and he's nowhere to be found. It's just me. With me, like 10 Venezuelan dudes with tattoos on their faces. And I'm sitting here like, oh, this is going to get bad. So that situation that happened to that brother in Chile, rest in peace, that could have been me. That possibly could have been me, man. This is why you definitely got to make sure your surroundings at all times. Because it can be dangerous. Just like that. Just that quickly, things could have went left. All right. And you definitely got to know if you take any tour, like if you go to the favelas, some cases even the barrios in Colombia, but if you go in the favelas, they'll tell you on the tour when to put your phones down. It was a German guy in 2017. It was a German guy that went to the favela with a camera. I don't know what he was thinking, but he went to the favela and he started recording stuff. No tour guide, no nobody. He just going to these wrong areas. He had his camera out, and they killed him basically. And he didn't know how to communicate back to them in Portuguese. They wanted his camera basically. Like I said, when the adrenaline is rushing, people are barking at you, demands, and you don't really know what they're saying to you. That could frustrate them, and they'll just go ahead and just shoot you and take some stuff. And that's what happened to the German guy. So you definitely want to be aware of where you're pulling your camera out, where you're taking photos of, because that's going to be a trigger for certain people that might be doing illegal activities and might think you might pass that information on to their police or whatnot. You're making they block hot, you're stopping their money, you messing up they flow, so to say. It's the same thing with neighborhoods in America, right? You're not gonna go in certain neighborhoods and just pull your camera out, pull your phone out, and start taking pictures of trap houses all in Southwest Atlanta. Dudes gonna come out the house and take your shit. It's just that simple, man. Somebody said an apartment in zone 6 versus zone 1 could be the difference on your safety. That's very true. What do they have in Colombia? Oh, I forgot what they have in Colombia. Not districts. It's right on the tip of my tongue. What do they have in Colombia, guys? The different areas, the different tiers of areas, from the nice to the bad, the rich, to the poor. Oh man, I forgot. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's not zones. It's not districts. Somebody knows in the chat. Let me see if I can find it. Shout out to you, Xavier. Shout out to you, bro. I'm a blurry for some reason. Hold on, family. We got 204 in the room. Do me a favor, hit that like button. All right. So it is free. It's all the Wild Wild West. All right. We got a troll in the building. Let me go ahead and get you on up out of here real quick. We got a couple of trolls. Get you on up out of here. All right. All right. Shout out to DJ Jarvis. With the $5 super chat, he says, if you had to choose out of Asia or South America, which would you choose? That depends, man. Damn, I'm still blurry. That depends on what you looking for. I tell guys all the time, if you like one of those guys that you know react badly to like let's say like paranoia, or because I've actually seen this, what is it, PTSD or something like that. If you're one of those guys who might have had some type of trauma growing up or something, I would say South America might not be the place for you, because you have to move a certain way for sure. You definitely do. No matter what nobody tells you, you have to move a certain way. Even Colombians might not be in certain areas after dark. All right, uh, Brazil, everybody's kind of out and about all times of the day, but you don't want to go in some of the dangerous areas like that. For the most part, Asia is extremely safe. You know what I'm saying? You can literally leave your cell phone out, leave it, come back in an hour, and McDonald's is going to still be there 9 times out of 10 in most cases. So if you want a safe environment, all right, laid back, more quiet, I would say Asia might be the place. A lot of older guys like Asia. A lot of older guys like. I can only speak for Southeast Asia, but just in general, it's known for being safe. Being safe. You got to be careful out here too. I see a lot of guys getting into it with locals out here. For the road incidents, road rage. In America, we bump our horns, we give each other fingers and cuss each other out. Over here, that's just not tolerated. It's just not tolerated. They'll pull you out the car and really take care of you. So you got to be careful of that. Other than that, man, it's pretty safe. Colombia, I would say, if you just want raw culture, a lot of beautiful women, great food, beaches in some cases, whatever. If you don't mind that it's a little bit more dangerous and you got to move a certain way, you got to watch it a little bit more, then yeah, South America. So that all depends. But great question. That is a good question. All right. All right. Shout out to dress code clinician with the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. I had to double read that because I thought you was the other clinician. But he says, I love seeing black men traveling and enjoying their lives. I just wish we could travel without openly dissing black women. Let's keep it in house. I totally 100% agree with that. That's why you'll never see me on my platform doing that or engaging with that. All right. Shout out to Big Boss Real Talk with the $5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that, my bro. He says, facts. Shout out to Obi. Shout out to Obi, man. Yeah, shout out to Obi. He just had a newborn baby, too. Of the Favela Bros, I did a favela tour with. He told us when to put our phones and cameras up. Oh, man. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what I was. I'm glad you brought that up. That's what I was mentioning. That on these tours, they'll tell you in the area to put your cameras away and not take a photo. They'll tell you. It's very important that you do that. All right. Nah, it's not. I'm not looking for barrios. I know what the barrio is. It's something else out there in Colombia, where it's like separated. Damn, I wish Dre was here because Dre knows exactly. We talk about it all the time. But it's basically like different areas. Stratus. I think it's called stratus. Yeah, stratus, basically. Different stratus, right? You got 1, 2, and 3, and like let's say 1 is the ritzy, expensive more area, and 3 might be the cheaper area or the more dangerous area, so to say, with less of a police presence. So you definitely want to make sure you're choosing the right area when you book an Airbnb, because it can make a tremendous difference in your safety, family. Yeah, Pat, I appreciate that. Appreciate that, bro. Stratus. Appreciate that. DC born Rob, bro. I was just asking about you. Man, you still out here? Let me know, bro. Let me know if you're still out here, man. I was just asking about you. We be having YouTubers pull up the Thailand, don't even holler at your boy, man. What's going on? Yeah, there you go. Stratus 1 through 6 areas. Appreciate that, Aaron Hamlet. I appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. Oh, somebody said 1 through 7. All right. So we got Brandon Clark. He says the word is comunas. That is the word used to describe different neighborhoods or zones of Medellin. Comuna 3 is the bad area of Medellin. Zona North, Manrique area. Appreciate that information, Brandon Clark. Appreciate that. I see y'all going back and forth in the chat already. All right. Yeah, like I said before, the passport bros is just an ideology that a lot of men agree upon. Um, and like dudes make different type of content. You'll never see this type of content is more informational content that I put out. Informational, inspirational. I try to show brothers open up businesses overseas. I do interviews with guys. Just showing the lifestyle of an expat in these foreign countries. So I don't really, and I know it's a lot of content in it. You can blow your channel up off of it, but that's just not my thing, man. Going back and forth with trying to explain to people why I trapper, whether it be male or female. It's just to me, it's a big nothing burger. It's a waste of time. I'm more focused on building something. And by the way, the app is coming out. I know people are asking about the app. The app is coming out. It takes a lot of work, but I know you guys will be pleasantly surprised when we finally bring it out. Somebody said Asia is super safe. Yeah, it is. It is. Asia is safe, man. Like I said, I never knew what it was to or feel uh, to be in an environment this safe. You grew up in America. Most of us grew up in inner cities or country towns. Both can be very dangerous, and we just get used to moving a certain way. That's why it's easy to adjust, right? Because you go to Medellin, or you go to Colombia, you go to some parts of Rio. The same rules apply. Know where you at, know your surroundings. Try to befriend a local, get the proper information. Don't try to be too flashy. Don't wear no jewelry. It's funny because out here, I see guys rocking gold chains all the time. Guys in their 60s and 70s rocking with the gold chains. So you definitely want to know about your surroundings. Okay. Somebody said Rob has made it safe for a lot of bro. Oh yeah, yeah. Shout out to DC born Rob. Somebody said the higher the strata, the more safe. Somebody said people don't ordinarily own guns. Yeah, I mean that's true. If you're talking about Asia, that's true. They have a different policies on people that own guns. No, I have not been to Hong Kong. Did I have been to Hong Kong? I really don't count layovers. I think I flew through Hong Kong, but I generally don't count layovers like that. So yeah, I've been there, but I haven't really got to explore Hong Kong like that. All right. All right. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and drop a link. I'm gonna drop a link. You guys can come on. Hey, please be mindful that this is YouTube family. All right. This is YouTube. So you just can't say anything. Be respectful of YouTube's policies for me before I drop the link. Because some of you guys come on here and they just start talking, reckless. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop a link for a little minute. You guys want to, discuss the growing pains of the Passport Bros movement. Let me go ahead and drop a link for you guys. We can chop it up. All right. Backpack Valve, you still here, man? Come on, come on, brother. Come on the show. Shout out to Stefano Demira. Shout out to you, bro. Good evening to you as well. I know it's morning here. Probably going to be evening where you guys at. All right. Got guys coming on the room. We really don't own guns. I don't know what the bot is to the dollar right now, but it hasn't. It's been going down lately, as of late. All right. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring on Dunno Music and DMR. Let's discuss the growing pains of the passport bros. We're not going to mention anything about the divestment crew or the women, anything like that. We're just going to focus on the movement at this point. All right, fellas, let me go ahead and bring you guys on.
What's going on?
What's going on, my brother? What's good? What's good?
Not much,
What's up, brother BMT?
What's going on, brother?
What's going on?
I thought you was my dude Brad for a minute, man. What's going on?
I was like, what?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm here to discuss the growing pains of traveling.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Yes, sir.
It's painful, man. Like that jet lag, it killed me sometimes. I gotta wake up and look at the beach. I got beautiful women walking around me. It's tough.
Oh, you in Brazil? You in Brazil currently, right?
I'm in Brazil right now. Shit.
Oh man. Okay. So this gonna be a good one, man. This gonna be a good one right here. What's the general vibe? We know what all went down with Austin Holloman in that situation. You know, people thought that, hey man, we ain't gonna be able to go to Brazil no more. You know, they was making all these videos. What do you say? Black men get banned from Brazil or kicked out. Like, what's really going on? What's the temperature out there right now, bro?
The temperature is excellent, man. I don't know what's going on with everybody else, but Brazil been treating me well. Brazil has been treating me well, man. Honestly, I haven't had any backlash. Nobody's ever brought it up around me. The only time I hear it's on YouTube. Like, it's still the same, if not better, because this trip is good.
Okay, so hold on. You know, people said that this story hit the national news and it's going to affect guys traveling.
It did. It really did. That's what shocked me. It hit global. I couldn't believe it hit global. Like that's a big deal. That's like, for instance, that's like it hitting CNN or Fox.
Okay,
News.
now, when you say it hit global, was it on the actual television news or was it like on a blog?
It was on their website.
Okay, so it was on their website. All right.
It was on the website.
Do you think that has the same effect though as it actually being on broadcast on their television like that?
No.
Because I'm be honest with you. I mean, I open up articles from CNN blogs, but it just doesn't hit the same to me.
It doesn't hit the same, and it would have hit harder if it was on TV. I mean, granted, I arrived about a week after that news broke on Global. So I mean, honestly, I didn't get any flack for being here. People welcomed me with open arms. Man, I was in Sao Paulo last week, and then this is my last night in Florianopolis. I'm about to go to Curitiba tomorrow. But yeah. So like,
now, have you been out to Salvador Bahia?
I'm gonna go there in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm about to check that out finally, and then spending 10 days in Rio to end the trip.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
All right. What's going on? Is that DMR? What's going on, brother?
Yes,
I think
sir.
you've been on the show before, right?
Yes, sir. BMT, how you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. Doing good, bro.
Hey, I just want to say this. I'm not avid traveler like you as far as expat, but I travel, right? And the whole thing, man, is that traveling cuts your stress level. You know what I'm saying?
Does.
And it's a real stress reliever, man. It's like flying on that plane, going somewhere else, and getting that fresh breath air. You know what I'm saying? So talking about Austin Holloman, I think it's a lot of people that's jealous of Austin, and because he's at age 23, he's able to do this when it's people that can't even do that at 50 or 40 years old. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, that's a very valid point. And I talked to Austin. I was like, man, it's one thing for constructive criticism and saying, okay, you can do this, a different way. But a lot of people were going hard and taking that, the incident blowing up out of proportion, really for views and content more so than anything.
Right.
And you saw that. And I told Austin personally, I said, hey, man, this is a good time. The reason why is because you can see who your real friends are and who your enemies are now.
Yes. Yeah.
Because people were literally calling Austin up, say something to him, yeah, it's all good, and then make a video dissing him for a whole hour or two. So I said, remember. All right. So I want to give a shout out to my dude David out here. What up, David? Live from Columbia.
Yeah, but I tried to turn the camera around so that way y'all boys can see what's going on outside and shit.
Okay, hold on now, brother. So you are walking at night. Where you at, bro?
Bro, I live right next to La Setenta. I'm in a good neighborhood. Like I'm in
Okay,
Strata.
okay.
I'm in Strata 12 or 11.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, it's mad safe out here, man. I was actually just walking to a park and stuff like that because it got good lighting and stuff out here. Since I was gonna hop on the stream, I kind of wanted to like kind of fight the paranoia of Colombia and Medellin that you got to be scared the entire time. Like, bro, like you ain't got to worry about that stuff. It's like if you move, like you said,
let me put you on the big screen, man. Hey, can you turn the camera around for us too? Raise it up a little bit. Let's put it on the big screen. Let's see what's going on around you.
Oh, dude, I was just walking to the park right here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like when you walk to the park, I would like to walk to the park at nighttime, smoke my weed and chill. And I do this.
Man, you too, brother.
I do
smoke your tobacco. That's what you meant. Smoke your tobacco.
I do my paraphernalia, and I just chill here all night. I mean, I chill here. Sometimes it'll be like at 8 p.m. Sometimes it can be at midnight. You know, like I said, it really depends on your neighborhood and just how you move.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. So, have you had any incidents whatsoever since you've been in Colombia?
Nah, never.
I wish I keep in mind that David's about 6'2", about 300 pounds. All muscle, by the way.
Oh, give me 1 second.
Okay, go ahead, bro. All right. Hopefully he good. You see? Okay, hopefully he good.
My boy straight.
Man, he walked around for Colombia for all the 5 minutes. You're like, oh shit, hold on. But nah, David's good. David, an ex-military cat, he good, man. He was actually in a pretty rough area out there in Rio. I was like, bro, you sure you want to be in that area? But he's like, nah, I'm good, man. You said what area?
Yeah.
Downtown, basicly.
Oh,
Downtown Rio.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Hey, I want to give a shout out to my dude Frederick Morris. What's good with you, bro? Long time no hear from.
What's up, Aaron? What's going on, brother? What's going on?
Yeah, man. What's good, man?
I'm
my man had me out here.
What's happening, family?
Yeah, my man had me racing out there here in Thailand, man.
I had the bike out there. I had the Suzuki 750. I don't know if we were riding a motorcycle, but it's a pretty fast bike. So you know what I mean. I had when I first got down there, I was taking the what is it called, Grab, I think it was. That's sort of like Uber. So I was taking that for a while, and I was trying to figure it out, and it was just taking too long. And I was like, man, I can't get to where I need to get to. At certain times, and I seen all these white dudes on these motorcycles. I'm like, where the hell they get these bikes from? Like, I was like, I know they're not from Thailand, so I'm like, I don't know if they bought them all right. And I was trying to figure it out, and then I was thinking about getting a scooter, and I was going to certain places, and they was trying to charge me, outrageous amounts, and they was telling me, they need my passport, and I was like, man, I'm not leaving you my passport. And then
I remember telling you about that.
Yeah. So what happened was I was like Googling, trying to find out, I was like, let me see if I can find like a motorcycle rental place. And I found this spot on Beach Road, this guy named Mr. Dean. And it was like, and I went down there, they had all these bikes, man. It was like, man, I was like a kid at the candy store. So long story short, I ended up grabbing a bike, and then I met this dude, I think he was from Canada or something like that. He was in the bikes too, and he was trying to link up with me. He was giving me some pointers and about the girls and stuff like that, because I was still trying to figure it out. I went by myself. I had my foot on the ground, so I was just I did my research before I went, but it was still it was like riding a bike. Like I was trying to get my feet on the ground, to figure out how things work. And I had messed up the first time when I rented the bike. I gave the guy my passport, and then I ended up. I ended up bumping in the air. He was like, nah, man, get the passport back. So I ended up working it out with dude, and I gave him like a cash deposit. You know what I mean? I went back. I was like, nah, man, I need my passport back. Either, we could either exchange cash or, I get the bike back. He was like, give me, like 200 and we good. So it ended up working out in the long run. But you know, me and Aaron had a ball, man.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did, man. Yeah, you did. When you told me that, I was like, bro, you got to get that passport back, bro. That's the most important document. You know?
You know what it was, man? I think it was just the excitement, man. It just was, you know, me getting to Asia. You know, I never took a flight that long. You know what I mean? I've been to all the, you know, the big threes that, you know, we talk about. Like I've been to, you know, Dominican Republic twice. You know, I started off like everybody else in Sasua. You know, that's why, you know, I would say, you know, I popped my cherry. You know, it was like the, you know, I had my epiphany. You know, I started there, and then I met this dude from Jersey. I'm from Connecticut, by the way, but I met this dude from Jersey, the Spanish guy, and you know, I was moving around Sasua, and he was like, "Man, you like this place?" I was like, "Man, that's cool." I was like, "Man, this is, you know, it's better than America, man. The way the women treat you and stuff." And then he was telling me about Colombia, and I was like, "Man, Colombia." I was like, "Nah, man, you know, just like everybody else that don't know about Colombia, never been there." I was like, "Man, I'm not messing with that place, man. You know, the cartel and the drugs and stuff." I was like, "Man, I ain't trying to be kidnapped out there." And you know, he showed me like a video and like, you know, pictures and stuff, you know, of Colombia. And then once he showed me the women, it was all she wrote. The next year, man, I was out there. Now, you know, back home in Connecticut, I got a Dominican barber. I took him with me. I was like, I used to cut my hair. I was like, man, I said,
you know what, bro?
I
think you was in Colombia before me, actually, because when did you start traveling to Colombia?
Yeah, I went to Colombia in 2019, May of 2019 for my birthday. Around Memorial Day. I was there for a week. I took my barber with me. He's from the Dominican Republic, but he lives in Connecticut. So basically, he was like my personal translator. You know what I mean? So we was able to, you know, like David, when I touched down in Colombia first.
Okay, hold on right quick, bro. David, you good?
Yeah. So here's the thing: the parks out here all have public Wi-Fi. So while I was connected to the public, because I'm on live stream, so I'm not trying to use my data. So I was just connected to the public Wi-Fi in the park.
Okay, real quick. Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna get back to you. I want to welcome Passport Club KJ to the show because he's been waiting patiently back there. What's going on, my brother?
What's good, fam? How you doing?
What's good? Tell us what's on your mind. I like that name, Passport Club KJ. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good name.
Nah, man, I just got back from Thailand about a week or two ago, man. Honestly,
oh man, you didn't even holler at your boy. What's up?
My bad, man. I'm gonna be honest, man. That was my first time in Asia, and that's probably one of the best trips I ever had, man. Between Bangkok and Pattaya, it was definitely probably like.
Oh, my fault, man. It just popped in my mind. There, after you finish, there's something caution that I got to tell you about Colombia. Aaron, I'm pretty sure you know what it is.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, Passport Club.
Yeah, because I went to Colombia, Brazil, and Dominican Republic all last year, so I wanted to go ahead and see what Asia was talking about. So I went to Thailand, and like I said, man, out of all four of those countries, like Thailand was probably like the best experience.
And why would you say that? Would you say that because of the safety, the treatment from the women, the prices? Why would you say that?
So, I mean, the price getting there, of course, that's going to be expensive, flying out from the United States. Brazil, man, still got a soft spot in my heart, man, because of the women. Like, I think the women in Brazil, top notch by far. But I think just overall getting around Bangkok, how inexpensive it was. The women were friendly, but I mean, the women are kind of friendly in all locations. Just, you know, they're approaching you for a reason or whatnot. But I mean, overall, man, then it's also like you guys were talking about the safety aspect, you know, earlier. There wasn't like one time where I feel like I had to have my head on the swivel in Bangkok. It was just move easily, man, like safer than being in the States.
Very true. All right, the Explorer, David, what's going on, bro?
Oh, so the thing is that the only caution, you know, the news is about what happened. That's like, how do I say? Like that's going on in Colombia in general is what went down in Bogota. I'm pretty sure, Aaron, you know about that. But you know, but it helped me realize that I spoke to a lot of my Colombian friends about it, and a lot of people in Colombia are noticing the difference between like white Americans and black Americans. And from my perspective, like we don't have that type of reputation. You get what I'm saying? As far as my experience of doing horrific shit overseas.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you pointed that out, man, because right now it's a hard generalizations. It's generalizations, right? It's a lot of generalization going on with the passport bros, right? And you'll get these content creators who are trying to drive a narrative to their audience that pretty much already hate men in general. And in some cases, they hate black men. And they'll find any type of negative story and somebody who's not even associated, with anything with the passport bros, they'll point that out and say, passport bros does this over in China. Passport bros does this in Colombia, or passport bros, and they'll try to make it seem like this is what we're doing when in general,
that dude in Chile,
just traveling and enjoying himself.
Yeah,
Go ahead, bro.
That dude who passed away in Chile wasn't even I don't know if he was associated with us. Like, not every black man who travels even knows we exist.
That's true. That's very true. And then you got guys that's been traveling for 20, 30 years who just want to, give some information, give some game, but don't really necessarily want to be associated too. All right, so let me catch your super chats real quick, and I'm gonna get back to you. Give me 1 second, David. Let me catch your super chats real quick, and I'm gonna get back to you, Delanoy Music, because you out there in Brazil. I want to ask you a few more questions. I want to give a shout out to Highlander. Okay, we borking out a little bit. Highlander 2016 asks, when is the next yacht party in Pattaya BMT? The next yacht party will be February 14th on Valentine's Day. I'm going to have to go ahead and meet you, David. Got a lot of background noise. All right. So the next yacht party will be February 14th. So you're out here, make sure to pull up. I got one more super chat. Shout out to Passport Mastery TV. He's also a member with the $4.99 super chat. I really appreciate that. All right. So I want to go back. I think I caught them all. I want to go back to Delanoy Music, man. You out there live coming from Rio.
Yes, sir.
I know we linked up there and had a good time when you was out there, man.
Yeah.
Do you think, in your opinion, the situation with Austin Holloman has changed the perception of black men to the average Brazilian in any type of formal way?
No.
Okay.
No. And no, because typically black men, let's say typically black Americans that come to Brazil have a good reputation for treating women well.
Okay.
That's honestly, the Austin Holloman situation, let's say that's a secluded situation. Now, if that keeps on reoccurring, then they might generalize black Americans as one whole group trying to exploit the woman of the country. But generally, no. They think, honestly, I've got nothing but love here.
Yeah, when that whole situation. Oh, sorry about that.
No, I'm just saying right now. I'm in a predominantly like whiter area of Brazil, and I'm still getting treated well. So,
when the whole situation went down, I spoke to a lot of my local Brazilian friends, and they kind of said the same thing. And the thing is, a lot of my Brazilian friends, I spoke to about 3 of them, and they all pretty much said that Austin pretty much got caught up by Brazilian. I can't say that word, but it starts with an F. And the extremists pretty much ruined it for him. But when I spoke to my Brazilian friends, they told me the same thing that we're still African American men. We're still good in Brazil, and as a matter of fact, it's one of the few places where we actually have a good reputation.
Yeah,
that's fact. That's fact.
Yeah, for sure. What I think messed up Austin, being from Jamaica, I can say this. I think a lot of people don't realize how conservative countries are south of the border. They have a conservative baseline. So like church, family oriented, that's conservative. Once a country
very true.
or in a country, then that's a conservative country. That being said, we have our fun. He didn't realize, people we don't like to exploit that side of our culture. That's just a part of it. But we don't want it. We don't want it to be glamorized. Now that one, I can't speak on the lady because I don't have enough information. I don't want to say too much because it's not my situation. But I think that's what I believe happened. That's what I believe happened. The woman probably felt like, man, he's trying to glamorize that other side of our culture. The other side that other side of what goes on in Brazil, and bam, you know.
Now, that's a good point, because when I asked my friend out there in Brazil, I said, "Man, have you heard about this?" And he looked it up, and he was like, it's not such a big deal as they making it out." And they was explaining to me, they was kind of explaining to me, you know, that they was familiar with, you know, the lady, and she said some harsh, she had some harsh critics about men in general before, like men making her uncomfortable staring at her. So she was on one. She tried to, you know, it's one thing out of respect, you don't want to offend somebody's culture. And Austin apologized for that. He said, "Hey man, I'm sorry. That wasn't my intent." He's looking at other bigger Brazilian YouTubers that was asking this similar to pretty much the exact same questions. And unfortunately, he just got targeted, man. DMR, have you ever been to Brazil?
No, no, I haven't, but I'm planning on trying to make me a trip to Thailand, hopefully early next year. So I'm gonna reach out to you, and it's a brother over there. I don't know if you know his name's Ready to Retire. Do you know him?
Ready to Retire.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that one. I probably know him though. That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Well, I've been like talking to him, so I'm gonna try to make that trip early next year. You know.
Okay. Cool. And Frederick, what's on your travel list for 2023, bro?
Man, for 2023, I'm definitely going back to Colombia this summer. I got to get back, man. I just, you know, it's been how long has it been? I think it's been about a year and a half. Definitely going back there. I'm trying to look into like some condos and stuff, and I'm trying to get some investments going, man. So, you know, I just bought a 3-family home here in the States. You know, I got some income coming in from that, so I'm trying to, you know, expand a little bit, trying to prepare for my retirement. So I got that on the list, and then also the Philippines. The Philippines at the top of my list. I'm trying to do like a dual city thing. So I'm trying to hit Cebu and Manila. So, you know, maybe do 2 weeks out there, and then probably do a week in Colombia. But that's it for right now.
Okay, cool. And is that Passport K? Is it Passport KJ? Passport Club KJ.
Yeah.
Have you been to Brazil?
Yeah, I went last year.
Okay. Well, what's your thoughts about the situation?
I think he's just young. He's young. You don't know what mistakes you make until a lot of times you make the mistakes. And I think she just got her 15 seconds of fame. Chalk it up to that. So he just got to move on, and pretty soon he'll blow over, man, just like everything else.
That's exactly what one of my Brazilian homies said, that she was just like aggressive and super aggressive activist who just wanted to pretty much just, you know, come after him and slander him basically for her own political gain. And so that's what I've been told by Brazilian citizens.
And that's what she did. Because immediately people were telling me that she mistranslated the video purposely. So.
I want to say something about safety before I go, because, you know, I'm in Brazil. So, but first things first, please don't go. You know, right now Brazil's having a little political war. Well, I can't say war, but dispute going on with the old president and whatnot. That was right before I came here too. But if you are abroad, anywhere, no matter Brazil, whatever, do not get involved in the political stuff. Don't be all high and mighty. Because if you do, you're going to jail. And you don't want to go to jail abroad. So just don't do it. Trust me, don't do it. Second of all, as far as safety concerns go, and people are like, oh, it's dangerous in Brazil, it's dangerous in Thailand, it's dangerous Colombia, yada, yada, yada. The U.S. is the only place I have to worry about getting shot at Walmart.
Oh,
right.
Yeah,
exactly.
you make a point. You make a good point.
Simple as that. Simple as that. I don't have to worry about getting deleted when I go to a grocery store here. But when I go to Walmart in the U.S.,
that's right.
I bet.
Yeah.
You know what's funny, man? Like, I stopped paying so much attention to the American news over here because it's like, of course we grew up in America, but it hits so much harder when you in this type of environment, because you see why when they come to America and they kind of be siphoned off in their own little communities, because in their eyes, this is really dangerous. Like when you explain to an Asian woman what goes on in North America and South America, you just sit there and explain it to her. She's going to look at you like, what, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? What? And they got crime over here, but it's more like organized crime. You know what I'm saying? It's not just random. It's not random like that, man.
Yeah.
So,
I
definitely understand that, bro. Definitely understand that.
That's all I gotta say. My plans for the year, I'm supposed to visit a friend in Finland. I'm definitely going back to Spain, possibly go to Amsterdam and London as well. So,
all right, man. Shout out to you, bro.
He's starting maybe next week or maybe this week. So yeah, keep tuned.
Okay, that's what's up, bro.
That's
what's up, man.
Take
That's what's up. All right, peace, my bro.
Yeah.
Hey,
peace, my bro.
BMT.
Go ahead, bro.
Can I speak about something about safety real quick?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
When the brother, brother got murdered down in Chile.
Mm-hmm.
I find it strange that he didn't have a guide with him, a guide in Chile to tell him, look, man, don't take no photos around here in the area that he was in, because when I went to Santo Domingo last year, I stayed in this spot called Pantini, and I thoroughly searched the thing online, and I seeked out a guide, tour guide. So when I had went to the airport, my tour guide was at the airport. He took me straight in my Airbnb. So this area of Pantini is all condos. It's like all condos. It's not that far from the mall, from the Agora Mall, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to find out why ain't he have a tour guide with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I think it was, man? I think it was that he was, sometimes when you're like a veteran traveler, you know how like some of the biggest accidents for truckers are people that's been driving trucks for 10, 15, 20 years. I think this brother had traveled to 40 odd countries, and maybe he just assumed that he, had it together enough to know what to look for and what not to look for. And unfortunately, that just wasn't the case. So, and then he didn't have a partner with him as well. So he was out there on the dolo, man, just taking photos, and it's just that situation could have been totally avoided. And it's sad.
And the crazy thing is, like my personal opinion, based off of how South America moves, they probably killed him because they just thought he was from a rival gang and or the police. Because the more further down South America you go as a black person, the more likely people just want to assume you're a local until you start speaking English.
Especially in Brazil.
Especially in Brazil, and Chile's like right there, which also has a large black population. So I believe that he was killed under the pretenses that they thought he was a rival gang member or he was the police.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Somebody said in the chat, he says, "Why David look paranoid? You don't look paranoid to me, bro. You out there chilling."
Oh shit. Nah, bro, I'm just outside of stuff.
Okay. All right.
Oh, it's not that. It's not that. So when I do my thing, it's still not, how do I say it? I got to be on the lookout for when I do it. That's why.
I got you. Mate is coming by Dress Code Clinician once again with the $5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. He says, "Nah, you can't even talk on your iPhone in Colombia without issues. Can we stop acting like Colombia is safer than the U.S.?"
He got a valid point with that one.
I was about to say that. I was like,
he has a
you got a good point, because I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you exactly why he's right, because I never take my iPhone in public in Medellin. I take my Android out. My iPhone stays in the crib. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, he got a point. I think what we're trying to say is Medellin is not as dangerous as everybody's making it out to be. It is still very dangerous, but you can have a fun and safe time if you just know how to move.
Exactly.
But
Man,
he
I don't
hit the
know,
nail on the
man.
head.
I mean, it's kind of equal to like your big U.S. cities like Chicago, because I mean, there was a time where you would get jacked for your shoes. Somebody would walk
Oh
up to
yeah,
you and
that.
snatch your chain out. So
Oh yeah.
to me, it's
For
kind
your
of
starter coat.
Man,
yeah,
man, they was
exactly.
getting jacked for their Jan sport in New York. Shoot.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
all right, all right. That's valid. That's valid. That is a valid point.
You
bro,
know, you know, you
bro.
know the difference is though, the major difference is they're targeting you because you're a tourist though. That's the difference. Like in America, you know, you get targeted if you wear jewelry or something in a certain way, but you actually have criminal networks that target specifically tourists. So I think
Oh yeah.
that's the major
It,
difference.
it,
That's the major difference.
even some of the police being on the shakedowns, like
The
you know what I
police,
mean. Like
the taxi driver
they pull
from
your
the
Uber
airport,
over. The
yeah,
Uber work with the police. They set up a trap, pull you in a corner, and shake you down. Either you gonna pay us this little fee or you want to go to jail. Which one? That's
right,
it's a part of the travel game. You know what I mean?
right, exactly. Like I say, in certain cases, if you wear jewelry through uh the Medellin airport, they tracking you, bro. If you come in with some platinum or
Oh
some
yeah.
gold jewelry,
Oh yeah.
you getting tracked from the airport,
Or
taxi, Uber to your spot. They know about your whereabouts. I mean, it's literally a criminal network. So that might
Yo,
be
And it's
something
they
to
all
look at.
connected.
yo,
Yeah.
and it does start at the airport.
yo.
It does start at the airport. Absolutely.
Why would you wear jewelry, right? And you know a guy just got robbed. You fly to Colombia, you got the jewelry on, man.
You know what? It's funny, man.
What's
Because just
what's
you know what's funny, bro. Yesterday, one of my homeboys was out here, and he had bought some, because gold is cheap out here, right? So he bought a gold chain,
Right.
and I've been overseas for so long. I'm like, bro, what you doing? And I had to remind myself, oh yeah, this is Thailand. I said, bro, if you was in Colombia or Brazil, or really Colombia more so, because they do wear jewelry in Brazil. I said, bro, you know, I have to shake you, bro. I have to get from around you. He just started laughing. He was like, yeah, I know. I want to take this out in Colombia. So yeah, it's some differences for sure, man. Well,
Like,
guys, I'm gonna go ahead real quick. We've been out here for about 2 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and sum up the show. I'm gonna go around and give everybody last closing statements on the growing pains of the Passport Bro movement, and if you want to touch on the brother Eric Garvin, who unfortunately lost his life, you can touch up on that as well. I'm gonna start off with you, Passport Club, KJ, because you haven't spoke that much.
Yeah, no, the only thing I gotta say, man, is everybody just kind of ignore the negative, man. Stay positive with it, and everything just keep moving forward, man. That's it.
Okay. And David, you want to say something on that?
Actually, I tried to send it to Super Chat, but because I'm in Colombia, it wouldn't allow me to send it. It says some error about COP, and I'm trying to pay in USD. It was weird, but I had wanted to say that when it came to necessarily, what's the word I'm looking for? Consultations. A lot of guys, y'all don't know the growing pains that we go through. That especially these YouTubers like Aaron and John, what they go through behind the scenes to get that content, and then the experiences and the failures that they make, so that way they can tell y'all the right things to do. So there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to be able to become, somewhat competent on being able to give people advice on in these countries. It's not something that you learn overnight.
Facts. Good point, man. Very, very good point. Very good point. To you, Frederick, your last closing statement.
Yeah, I just want to say, man, everybody, keep traveling, be safe, keep the head on the swivel, all the jewelry and shiny and flashy stuff, man, you don't need it when you're traveling. Keep it at home, man. You don't need to wear a costume, to travel, man. Be yourself. They'll respect you more for you being yourself. That's all I'm saying.
Facts. That's facts, man. Facts. DMR in the building.
sir, I just want to say this. Passport brothers, keep your heads up. Don't apologize for having a good time. Stay strong. Consultations is needed. I had consultations in DR. I'm safe, back home, safe, everything. Again, brothers, stay safe, keep strong. BMT, thank you very much, brother.
All right. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
Peace.
Peace. All right, family. So once again, great show. Hopefully, you guys got some good information. I just want to kind of give, this movement a background because I know it's a lot of new content creators, and I want to always, give the flowers to the guys that originated this movement, to that I learned from, that really helped change my life, man. I can't thank them enough, and that's going to be Charles Tyler, rest in power, Al Grease, and all the guys, Raphael, at the Black Man's Option over there, man. That's where I initially got the information from to start traveling the world, because in general, man, I was frustrated, like right around 2012, 2013 with the whole Black Lives Matter movement. I was frustrated in a lot of ways, and it was good. It was good to be able to have a dialogue with other men to discuss, what's going on in our communities. But my thing is, as a man, you have to be solution based, because that's what being a part of a man is. It's being solution based. And the passport, bro, this community of guys with a similar ideology on travel, you can call it a movement or whatever. This was, to me, one of the better solutions, more so than just sitting around trying to go back and forth with the empire, asking for things. I'm like, listen, man, sometimes things are concrete and it's hard to move the pendulum in such a powerful infrastructure like America. But if you travel overseas, you can leverage your American dollar. You can come together a whole lot easier. Language and culture definitely bonds you. So you're kind of forced to work together. You're forced to protect each other. You're forced to build together, similar to the situation that we was in when we built our Black Wall Streets all over America. So it might be an easier time to be able to push the pendulum into the direction of where you want it to go overseas versus in America. And that's what the whole point of the reason where I at least came from my point of view of what this movement can be about. It never was supposed to cross up into this whole red pill gender war. And that's what it is right now, unfortunately. But I think as time goes over, things will cool back down, and then we can drive the narrative once again about being an expat and building community, and building safe environments overseas. Because in this new coming world, right? This new coming world, technology and information, we're in the information age. It's going to be a lot of changes that come. And America is top dog right now, but we never know if things are going to stay the same. So it'll behoove you to know information about living and possibly moving to different countries. All right. You still be living in America, but you can say, you know what? The inflation rate is just crazy out here. The taxation is too crazy out here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move over here to Salvador Bahia. I'm going to move to Baja de Chuca, or I'm going to come to Thailand for 6 months. And this right here has been going on for a very long time, right? From other people. So it's good that you have that type of information, man. All right. So once again, shout out to Xavier. I see you right there. Shout out to Xavier. Once again, peace. We out.